We're now joined by John Jastremski and John Harper for some table talk. So they struggled on the West Coast and then also on Tuesday night being served a pretty ugly loss. But the Mets did bounce back on Wednesday. So, Harp, what stood out more to you, Peterson's outing or the Mets' bats?
Well, Michelle, we've been waiting for the bats to come alive for sure, and especially Alonso. But I got to say Peterson, because I think this pitching staff, somebody needs to kind of take the lead role here. I mean, Manai did it for a while, but they've been struggling lately. I think the starting rotation needs to go deeper into games if this team's going to have a chance to make a run here again. And Peterson's been sneaky good, really, this year, sneaky consistent. You know, he hasn't gone deep enough into games at times. He still walks too many. He had 4 walks tonight. But 11 of 13 starts now. This season was delayed. 11 of 13 starts, he's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer. So that's pretty consistent, and he was pretty dominant tonight, so I think that's really huge for this team.
Peterson was terrific, no question. I'm going to look at the Met bats, though, Harp, because to me, if this team is going to make the postseason, they have to get back to where they were in the month of June. And I'm not saying they got to get all the way back to where they were in the month of June, but they have to be the driving force. They have to be the engine that kind of gets this thing going.
Yeah.
And you kind of saw that tonight. The big guns for the Mets, Lindor with the milestone home run, Alonso with the tape measure home run. These are guys the Mets desperately need. And it's not just those two. It's up and down the lineup. Vientos, Nimmo, trying to get him figured out. Alvarez and what's plagued him. You need this lineup humming. They're not. They had a terrible end to the road trip. Yeah. They did not get off to a great start in this series against Oakland. Michelle, this was much needed from the offense.
It was a beautiful game to watch. Pete had a big night for the first time since last week against the Rockies. JJ, do you think that he's still the one guy who can carry this team, or do you think that other guys carry that responsibility too now?
See, I don't look at it that way, Michelle, because of the fact that we've seen Francisco Lindor earlier this year carry the team. Brandon Nimmo in the month of June was able to carry the team. JD Martinez, when he came to the Mets, kind of gave you that sort of stabilizing presence where he's like, hey, fellas, I got you for a couple weeks. Now, from a power standpoint, Harp, it's going to be tough for anybody in the lineup to kind of go on a power surge the way that Pete Alonso can go on a power surge. But I think this lineup has kind of evolved now where it's not all or nothing on Alonso. They need him. He's got to be better. I hope that, you know, the Colorado series and now maybe this. I feel like we've said all year, when is Pete going to put it together and really go on a tear? Yeah. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. I think this Met lineup is beyond just Pete carrying them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that it's a well-rounded lineup, but I do think if you get on one of these home run tears, we've been talking about it all year, then it could lift this offense for a while because you got some guys struggling, Nimmo, Alvarez, guys like that. So I think we've been waiting for this, and he had the 2 home runs in the game against Colorado. Then he went out to Seattle, he had 11 strikeouts in 3 games. So maybe this gets him going, but you got to see it over an extended period now because he needs it for himself. The biggest thing to me is he needs to get big hits with runners in scoring position. That's what he's struggled all year. He needs to get clutch hits for this team.